Welcome car lovers. In the late summer of 1917, the first Ford Model TT rolled off a production line in Michigan. It wasn't a fashion statement. It wasn't designed to be a disruptor in a Silicon Valley boardroom. It was a chassis, an engine, and a set of leaf springs designed to move the world. For over a century, the pickup truck has been the backbone of the developed world. It is a tool defined by its utility, its reliability, and its honesty. When you buy a truck, you are entering into a contract with a piece of machinery. You provide the maintenance. It provides the capability. You expect it to survive a decade in the salt of a Midwestern winter, and another decade in the heat of a Texas ranch. But today, we are told that the history of the automobile is obsolete. We are told that a 3-ton wedge of unpainted kitchen appliance steel is the future. I am here to tell you that the Tesla Cybertruck is not the future. It is a catastrophic failure of engineering, a betrayal of heritage, and a profound insult to anyone who understands how a motor vehicle is supposed to work. To understand why this vehicle is such a monumental lapse in judgment, we must look at what it attempts to replace. For 60 years, the Ford F-Series and the Chevrolet Silverado have perfected the art of the body-on-frame architecture. This isn't just tradition for the sake of it. A separate frame allows for torsional flexibility when hauling heavy loads over uneven terrain. It isolates the cabin from road vibration. It allows for modular repairs. When you look at the greats, the 1960s Toyota Land Cruiser, the original Land Rover Series I, or the 1994 Dodge Ram, they all shared a commitment to mechanical transparency. You could see how they were built, and you could trust why they were built that way. The Cybertruck, by contrast, arrives with the arrogance of a company that believes it has outsmarted physics. Elon Musk claimed this vehicle uses an exoskeleton, in engineering terms, that is largely nonsense. It is a unibody construction dressed in thick panels of 30x cold-rolled stainless steel. By moving the structural load to the skin of the vehicle, Tesla has created a manufacturing nightmare that solves a problem that never existed. Let's discuss that exterior styling, or the lack thereof. In automotive design, we talk about proportions, the dash-to-axle ratio, and the belt line. A Range Rover is elegant because it follows the golden ratio. A 1965 Mustang looks fast standing still because of its silhouette. The Cybertruck looks like a low-resolution rendering from a 1980s arcade game because stainless steel cannot be stamped into complex curves. It can only be folded. This results in a vehicle that is a collection of flat planes and lethal edges. Look closely at the panel gaps on any Cybertruck delivered to a customer today. In the world of high-end manufacturing, we look for tolerances of less than 1 millimeter. On the Cybertruck, you can find gaps wide enough to swallow a finger. Because stainless steel has a high spring-back rate, it resists being held in place. This isn't just an aesthetic issue, it is a sign of poor structural discipline. Furthermore, the lack of a clear coat means the vehicle is a magnet for fingerprints, road oils, and rail dust that causes surface oxidation, commonly known as rust, within weeks of delivery. A truck that cannot survive a rainstorm without specialized cleaning products is not a truck. It is a high-maintenance toy. Now we must address the button test. Step inside a modern Ram 1500 or a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, and you will find that the most critical functions, the wipers, the lights, the gear selector, are tactile. They are physical switches that your brain can locate without taking your eyes off the road. This is called ergonomics. It is a science dedicated to the harmony between man and machine. Tesla has decided that science is optional. Inside the Cybertruck, there are no stalks on the steering column. If you want to use a turn signal, you must press a haptic button on the steering wheel, which is often upside down during a turn. If you want to shift from drive to reverse, you must swipe a screen. If you want to open the glove box, you must dive into a sub-menu on an 18.5-inch tablet. This is not minimalism. It is cost-cutting disguised as innovation. For a driver aged 55 or 65, who has spent a lifetime developing muscle memory for vehicle controls, this layout is more than just annoying. It is dangerous. A touchscreen is a repository for fingerprints and glare. It is not a primary interface for a 3-ton kinetic object. The seats, while superficially comfortable, lack the long-distance, lumbar support found in a Volvo or even a high-trim Ford. The material is a synthetic vegan leather, which is a marketing term for plastic that lacks the breathability of genuine hide or high-quality textile. And then there is the visibility because of that sharp pillar and the massive dashboard. The forward blind spot is cavernous. To see behind you, you must rely on a camera feed because the physical rearview mirror is blocked by the motorized tonneau cover. If that camera fails, or if the lens is covered in road grime, you are flying blind. This is an engineering compromise necessitated by a styling choice. That is the exact opposite of how a utility vehicle should be designed. When we move to the driving dynamics, the failure becomes even more apparent. On paper, the specs are impressive: 600 or 800 horsepower, four-wheel steering, and air suspension. But engineering is not about numbers, it is about execution. The Cybertruck utilizes a steer-by-wire system. There is no physical steering column connecting the yoke to the front wheels. Instead, a series of electric motors and sensors interpret your input. While this allows for a tight turning circle, it completely severs the mechanical connection between the driver and the road. There is zero feel. You cannot sense the grip levels of the front tires through the steering rack. In a vehicle weighing over 6,600 pounds, that lack of communication is unsettling. The ride quality, despite the sophisticated air suspension, is hampered by the massive unsprung mass of the 35-inch all-terrain tires and the heavy stainless steel body. On smooth tarmac, it is silent, as any electric vehicle should be, but encounter a series of expansion joints or a pothole, and the entire structure shudders. The rigidity of the exoskeleton means that vibrations aren't absorbed. They are transmitted directly into the cabin. Compare this to the MagneRide system in a GMC Sierra Denali, which monitors the road 1,000 times per second and provides a magic carpet ride that the Tesla simply cannot match. Then there is the issue of range under load. If you hook up a 5,000-pound trailer to a diesel-powered Silverado, you might see your fuel economy drop by 30%. If you do the same to a Cybertruck, your range is halved, often dropping to less than 150 miles. For a man who needs to get a boat to the coast or a trailer to a job site, that is a catastrophic lack of capability. You cannot disrupt the laws of thermodynamics. We must also talk about safety and repairability. In a traditional vehicle, the front end is designed with crumple zones. These are areas of the chassis engineered to deform and absorb energy during an impact, protecting the occupants. The Cybertruck's stainless steel skin is so rigid that it does not deform efficiently. In a high-speed collision, that energy has to go somewhere, and that somewhere is the necks and spines of the passengers. Furthermore, if you get into a minor fender bender in a Cybertruck, you cannot simply go to a local body shop and have a dent pulled or a panel repainted, because the steel is structural and unpainted. The entire panel must be replaced, and the lead times for Tesla parts are notoriously abysmal. It is a vehicle designed to be disposable, not durable. The final insult is the price. We were promised a $40,000 truck that could do everything. What we received is a $100,000 rolling laboratory for unfinished software. It is a vehicle for the early adopter, a person who enjoys being a beta tester for a multi-billion-dollar corporation. But the men watching this program aren't beta testers. You are the people who built the world. You value a tool that works every time you pick it up. You value the click of a well-made switch and the honest thrum of a mechanical drivetrain. You want a car that will be a retirement car, something you can maintain, cherish, and perhaps pass down to a grandson. The Tesla Cybertruck fails the retirement car test on every conceivable level. It is a lease-only experiment. In 10 years, when the battery chemistry has degraded, when the steering-by-wire sensors begin to fail, and when the proprietary software is no longer supported, these vehicles will be nothing more than expensive, angular lawn ornaments. You cannot fix them in your garage. You cannot rely on them in a crisis. They are the automotive equivalent of a plastic digital watch that you throw away when the battery dies, whereas a proper truck should be a mechanical Rolex, something that can be serviced and kept running forever. In the pursuit of being different, Tesla forgot to be good. They ignored a century of lessons in metallurgy, ergonomics, and consumer trust. They built a vehicle for the hype generation, for people who want to be looked at, rather than people who have work to do. If you want a glimpse of the future of the American truck, don't look at this stainless steel monstrosity. Look at the companies that are integrating electric powertrains into traditional, functional, and honest frames. The Cybertruck is a triumph of marketing and a catastrophe of engineering. It is the emperor's new clothes on four wheels. It is a gimmick that will age as poorly as a 1970s leisure suit. If you value your money, your safety, and your sanity, stay far away from the polyhedron. Stick with the brands that respect your intelligence and the heritage of the road. Engineering is a serious business, and it's time time we treated it as such. If you love speed and luxury, and you appreciate the cold hard truth about the machines we drive, subscribe. We don't drive boring cars, and we certainly don't drive broken ones.